Hi, thank you for taking the time to tune in today. My name is Kelly Reddy-Heffner and you're here at Fresh Squeezed. Today we're going to be talking about student loans. The past 5 years have had a tremendous amount of confusion in the federal student loan space. So COVID provisions and now the current presidential administration has made some announcements and updates to the federal loan program. So today is meant to give an overall broad recap of some of the things to be thinking about. I will just give a quick reminder that although the COVID timeframe was very chaotic and information was a little bit confusing, in a reflective way, some of that time was very positive in terms of the student loans not accumulating interest, borrowers not needing to make payments in case they were dealing with other financial well-being matters, an opportunity to save, to maybe make a purchase. So although we are now restarting, hopefully borrowers had an opportunity to make some positive preparations in that time frame. So now that repayment has kind of kick-started, I think it's a little bit more than restarted, but we're starting to see some movement on some of the changes. In general, I would advise individuals who are getting notifications about changing from SAVE, working through decision points, to kind of ask themselves a couple questions and get some of the basic information secured. What repayment plan are you in now? Are you in SAVE or are you in something else? Are you working towards a forgiveness program? Are you in a PSLF, the Public Student Loan Forgiveness Program, which is 120 payments? Or are you working towards what I'll call a non-PSLF forgiveness? Essentially, you're paying on the loans for 20 or 25 years. There will be a balance at the end, and that is a forgiveness type within the federal loan program. Can you afford to restart payment now? How does that look in your budget? If you cannot afford to restart payment now, how will you prepare for repayment to start, and how quickly can you make that transition by putting a monthly amount aside? If you are in PSLF, it is best to check the time frame until completion. Have a good understanding. How many PSLF cumulative payment counts do you have at present? Were your loans all taken out past July 1, 2014? So part of the announcement from the current Department of Education has been that they are planning to continue IBR, which has an old and a new version. The old and the new are distinguished between the date of the loan. So July 1, 2014 is kind of the boundary between what might be considered old IBR and new IBR, and they have slightly different repayment terms. There is a new program starting called RAP, the Repayment Assistance Plan. There is a grid based on your income range that correlates to a percent of income to calculate payment amount, and then that in turn equates into a monthly bill range. So for example, if you make $70,000 to $80,000 per year, the percent of income to calculate the payment is going to be 7%. That would give you about a $400 to $470 payment. And then the SAVE program has been in litigation for a period of time. So if you are in SAVE, the recent announcement was that interest is going to start accumulating, and that there have been some time frames outlined for changing out of that program, although it is still being litigated and you do not have to make payments at present. And then I go back to reflecting on those questions that I asked. If you're in PSLF, if you are close to completion, then that's one decision point. Like, how many more payments do you have left? Is it under 12? Are you prepared to start making repayment and move out of SAVE to get progress started towards those PSLF payments? If you've been in SAVE, those non-payments have not been counting towards PSLF. If you are in a Longer term strategy, that might be a different perspective. If it's going to take 20 to 25 years to pay off, then it is that affordability component again as well, front and center. Can you start to make the payments? Can you be prepared to do so? There are a couple nuances for new borrowers coming up. There are going to be some caps, so it's really important to have an understanding if you were planning on counting on federal student loans. What are those caps? Are you able to complete a program with the caps? Also for Parent Plus loans, some changes as well. There is an interesting deadline of July 2026 to get things in order with your Parent Plus loans. They are always a little bit more complicated, so I do recommend doing your research, reaching out to assistance, either with studentaid.gov, the Federal Student Loan Program resources, or to talk to a professional if you have questions. But again, with the changes happening, it's a good time to revisit, if you have loans, what your current loan repayment plan is, what your strategy is going to be, preparing to have enough money to make those monthly payments and fitting that into your budget. If you are considering graduate loans or Parent Plus loans, those programs are changing, and it's time to get some insights into what those changes are. Thanks so much for being here, and I hope you have a great week.